Hello, guys. This is actually the first video I've um, recorded on here on this new phone that I just got back in July. And today, September 25th, 2020, marks my 10-year anniversary. I'm actually doing this pretty late. It's actually like right before midnight. 11:53 to be exact, but I want to make sure I got that in there. I had to work today, so you know, kind of try to get the timing in there. But I'll make sure I have this recorded aside. But anyway, I did want to mention a little bit with the coronavirus update as well, because I did make a video back in April. So over 7 million people in the United States are infected now. Death count is over 200,000, about 203,000. And for my state of Indiana, cases, I believe it's like right around like 110,000. And the deaths about 3,500. It was like right around there. And then, of course, my city that I live in, Indianapolis, now the death count is about 850. This is, of course, September 25th, 2020. Total cases was over 21,000 cases. So, roughly with Indy, the population is at, it's estimated about 1 million for the city itself, and then you include the metro area with the surrounding counties and such. You're looking about 3 million overall. So I'm not really sure like what the surrounding counties for the metro area is with all those cases combined, but for the pure city standpoint, you got 2% of the population for the city, is infected. Tomorrow, actually, September 26th, of course, the rest of Indiana, like all but 3 counties in Indiana, are going to be going under Stage 5 reopening plan that Governor Eric Holcomb had set out. It's really about time that we're finally, heading in the right direction, because we've been really dragged on to we've been on stage 4 forever. Then Holcomb did this 4.5, the stage 4.5 crap, where you had places go kind of open up at like higher capacities, but not like a whole lot, and still some of the stuff remains the same. And so I guess that Monroe, Tippecanoe, and Marion counties, now Marion County's Indianapolis, I guess it'll be Monday, actually, the 28th, that stage 5 is going to be in effect. But it's still not over. It's still not over, because you have there's going to be still some places that you're still going to have restaurants that are not. So, okay, so for the 3 counties, of course it affects me, because, I'm in Marion, and, it's like, okay, like, yeah, obviously, you're in an urban area, you're going to have more cases anyway, but I have just I've by far given up on the mayor of this city, Joe Hogsett. I can see why people freaking call him Boss Hog, Hogwash, Hog, and a special word that I'm not going to say, but I think you can fill in the blanks. Um, yeah, it's pretty bad. I've actually kind of begun to call him Boss Hog myself because the dude's a worthless freaking mayor. You know, this city's economy has suffered so much, and you know, I'm not trying to get like too much into it, but at the same time, there's so much that's just been on my chest with this whole thing, you know. But yeah, I figured, you know, this being, you know, my 10-year anniversary, being on YouTube, I mean, so many ups and downs that have gone on in my life for that whole time, and even before I joined. But you know, YouTube's always been a way for me to, it's just like kind of been like an escape, and I'm just glad to be able to just like share just like anything that's on my mind, to um, especially my gameplay. And I've always thought about, you know, every now and then maybe trying to think about maybe doing some trick shots again. I'm not sure yet, but see now, at least the good thing is also I found my old flip video camcorder. Now, of course, for people people who have followed my channel, that you guys know, that camcorder, I'd be able to record and everything, and especially like back then, when I was doing the trick shot and the basketball and even the football videos. You see, of course, I didn't have a smartphone back then, so oh man, I'm trying to like hold this. So I didn't have a smartphone back then, and because of that, I mean, like I had that, so it was something better. Now it's like, okay, well, now we got an iPhone 8 Plus. That's actually really good on the. It's actually really good on the battery too. I mean, ever since I've gotten this phone, brand new compared to when the 6 was brand new, like Apple's really made improvements on the on the battery lives. Oh. I still can get notifications while recording too. But one little disadvantage. But I'm just I'm so glad that I finally, like, obviously it's more than just having a phone with a longer battery life. I mean, not to say my 6 wasn't good, but I did not run into very good people, when I just like leading up to me moving to Indy, with the way that things went downhill. But I'm so glad that like where I am now in my life to where I was 10 years ago, things are a lot better. Back then, of course, I was 15 years old, and I was dealing with bullying at school, and now some issues at home that, of course, I couldn't really talk about, like, because at that time, just the way things were with. Now I kind of, I'm always like paranoid about, like CPS like getting involved and stuff. So, but of course I was like raised very sheltered and everything, so I didn't really get, there are a lot of things that I did not really get to have that, other people did. But, I look back at everything, especially just like over the years, it's like, everything happens for a reason. And I'm glad that I can, be more prepared now to just like handle anything that's like heading my way. And I mean, I feel like over the years I've grown more comfortable with the fact that it's like I have autism. I'm high functioning, but I am who I am. Born with two forms of it: Asperger's syndrome and autism spectrum disorder. Just I've kind of had like some social issues and stuff, some anxiety there, but I just want and because of that, I tell you, this virus, or for me this coronavirus for me personally, yeah, it's got me. It has. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, especially once the mask requirements started too, then, which, that was silly in its own way. I mean, it's been hard for me to really be willing to even want to go out anywhere. And especially the fact that, like, I just moved to Indy and everything, and, this all happened, and that, once we get things to where everything's opened up, like 100% capacity, full capacity, and, none of these mask requirements, which really, see, I've been having to, which, the mask isn't really that effective. This coronavirus is a 1% mortality rate. That, 1% mortality rate. You're gonna survive this? I mean, of course, I know that, like, everyone's got to do their part. There's always people out there being like, oh, well, these other countries have recovered and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, okay, so here's my main question I gotta ask them is, how many countries are as big as the United States? The United States has 330 million people for the population. Third highest population in the world. So, how many countries are as big as ours? Not very many. Obviously, the higher amount of people, you're going to have a higher percentage, and all the good, and all that good stuff with the numerical, okay, the data. Okay, so, you factor that in. It's crazy, I did not think this was going to be a 13-minute long video. And you factor that in, you're not going, you're not gonna be able to make everything foolproof. And there's now data out there where, there was actually a recent study, I want to say within the past couple weeks, where the places that were on lockdown compared to the ones that weren't, or had the places that had the tightest restrictions, those had the highest number of cases, and really were, the hotspots remained further hotspots because of tighter restrictions, basically, than the ones that had looser restrictions. So, when you consider that, so it really makes sense, because, not everyone's just gonna stay inside. Like, you don't quarantine the healthy. That's not how this works. You don't make healthy people wear masks. I mean, that's just been something that's just stuck out to me so much. I've been on that got me on a rant. And I've talked about this with my friends. And definitely my family's all been like not been really siding with it. And even the vulnerable uh even the vulnerable people in my family, like, they, I mean, sure, they're being cautious, don't get me wrong, but you know I mean, obviously the coronavirus is real. It's not a hoax. I'm not saying anything like that. You got two sides to the story. Now, the CDC and their director, Anthony Fauci, which I'm really going to refer to as Anthony Flucci, with how much of a fluke that he is. You keep changing your mind. You're the director of the freaking CDC, and you keep changing your mind, flip flopping the narrative. Do this. Oh, no, do that. No, do this. No, do that. No, no, no. No. It's one thing, if something, I get it, like, whenever, you're trying to learn about this virus, but then once you just start flipping the narrative more than freaking twice, no, you can't take someone seriously. You can't take even the whole CDC seriously, with especially these guidelines and what's okay and what's not. From the protests, like, oh yeah, you can gather protests like nothing. Then there's always, oh, but people were wearing masks. Don't give me that. There's plenty of protests where people not wearing masks, especially when there's protests over the masks themselves. So, don't get me wrong. I'm an anti-mask person, but at the same time, I mean, you know what? Listen, like, if there's a place that requires me to wear one, then so be it. I'll suck it up and deal with it. Do I think it's fair? No. But, I'm not going to go around and raise hell at places just because, I don't agree with it. Like, you can not agree with something and still be rational to just suck it up and deal with it. Like, listen, like, that doesn't make you a sheep or a bootlicker and all that other, all the other name calling that people on social media be making. Because let me tell you something, I'll see stuff on Facebook with posts that, like, a lot of articles, I will just read the comments, and sometimes even on here on YouTube as well, but oh my gosh, the stupidity that is out there is unbelievably bad. Oh. And I will actually, even since this video is just mainly reserved for YouTube when I'm sharing it on, I will actually share to you guys something on Facebook. Okay, I am low battery. I am under an account warning because of the fact. See, now my friend okay, so she shared a post about how there were some white folks that actually, this was basically a hate crime, this is just, they attacked this black girl, and I think it was they poured like some gasoline on her, and then they like some I guess some of it like went on her arm, and um man, just can't believe the fact that, you know, you had that happen, and I don't know what the hell's going on outside. Cause see, I'm at a trailer park now, but anyway, you know, people sometimes up all night. But anyway, okay, so this post was about basically, yeah. So this black girl got attacked by 4 whites, and I made a comment on her post, you know, and this is actually coming from a white person like myself. I actually, you know, I hate to sound like racist against my own race, but I straight called them out and just said that, you know, and my friend Pre, by the way, she's black. So, you know, but I basically said, you know, that basically what I said in that comment was that those people are white trash, and that they deserve to rot in hell. And Facebook decided to remove my comments, and now basically I'm on thin ice because of that. Because of that comment that I said. Because now Facebook's getting all into this regulatory excess crap. Yeah. All because I said that. I wasn't... So, I can't even talk bad about... It's like, okay, so because the one time that I went out of line, but yet, you know, you got other people that, you know, do all this other BS or whatever. It's like, really? Really, Facebook? And I tried to, and oh, of course, you know, I was going to be on it with appealing that crap. Nope. Nope. They decided to keep it. I guess it was kind of an account strike. It temporarily was, but now it's kind of like moved to an account warning. But, you know, whatever. Whatever. It freaking is what it is, I guess. But, yeah, that stuff ticked me off. You know, of course, that's not the first time, because, it was about 8 years ago. And this is actually one of my highest viewed videos, where it was like, with your account is not in good standing, I had a community guidelines strike. Well, it actually wasn't a true strike. It was basically a warning, and then they do the 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. But back then, of course, that was over a video. See, my video got removed. It was over a troll called the RepTube. Dare I even say? But I got reported for hate speech. I was basically trying to raise awareness over, you know, this channel that was, you know, not very good. They actually are basically a child predator and stuff. So that's what the whole ordeal was about. I think I should be safe to say it freaking 8 years later now, since that stuff's like well over. Because somehow something happens with this video too that's really been about my 10-year anniversary. Well, I don't know. Then I give up on the whole system. Okay? You know, I'll admit, I did not really plan on having this video this long. You know, there's just so much to talk about. But I mean, I just figured, like, this, like, I'll make sure, like, and I ended this, like, that everything's just gonna end up on a good note. So, this is recorded technically on September 25th. Now it's the 26th of it being past midnight, but, oh, man. Yeah, I know I've gone on some rants, but, I'm still in a good mood. Everything's all good here. Like, I mean, I'm happy with where I am at in my life now. I'm thinking to myself, well, I contemplated on maybe, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but maybe when this is all said and done, I might do like a little live stream for you guys, when the time does come around. Like for, I don't know, I'm thinking like maybe for the Circle of Light celebration, if maybe I'm off work, because I don't know how my work schedule is gonna be. That'll be interesting. I would hope so, because this year also, okay, yeah, I'll talk about stuff with my job too, okay? So I'm trying to actually get transferred to Avon Walmart, because now I live on the west side of Indy. I've got my own place now, which I had to work my butt off. But when you can do anything you put your mind into. Do not ever forget that. So that's a clear, strong message I want to send out to everybody. I've had to work my butt off with trying to get into this position now. And this is just me scratching the surface. Finally, like, I'm at this point of full independence, but I'm in a city that I'm happy living in. There's some freaking politics and BS I'm not liking happening here. The way that obviously the way the mayor, Boss Hog, has handled some matters over COVID-19. I try to block out that outside noise. The point is, obviously, like, I'm happy with the city that I'm at. Do I plan on living in Indy the rest of my life? No. I mean, I want to... Truthfully, my dream vacation... Or not vacation. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute, too. But my dream place that I really want to move and settle into is Nashville, Tennessee. That's home to my favorite music country. For, of course, people that know me, I am, they all know. People around me know. I am a big, die-hard fan of country music. Modern country, mainly. I grew up with the 90s and the 2000s stuff. But, like, and Tim McGraw's my favorite. And then my favorite female singer, though, is Carrie Underwood. It's like, as soon as, like, I grew up to when she began, and Carrie Underwood began, Lady Antebellum, or, well, now they're officially Lady A, but, well, they kind of were known as that, shortened anyway, but, that was just them appealing to the herd mentality, the herd, when they dropped the official thing, but whatever. Same with the Dixie Chicks. Now they're the Chicks, but they've been irrelevant for a long time anyway. Okay, getting distracted. So I'm saying is, so when Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, Florida Georgia Line, all them started. Like, that's what really started, like, country started changing really for the better when they all came along. Florida Georgia Line's kind of, a little iffy, but for the most part, I like them. I love Little Big Town, the band Perry, like, they've, like, I mean, obviously, country now isn't nearly the same as it was even then, but over the past few years, they finally began to kind of turn it around. Really, it was like beginning in 2010, it started to get downhill for me. And then after 2012, really nothing was anything good till about, I want to say like 2018. Then they finally started getting a little more back into their roots. 2019 was actually a pretty strong year, in my opinion. Now, 2020, it's like, okay. It's slowly I'm starting to slowly like it, like, like the current up to date kind of stuff. So it's like good. Like they're getting back to their roots. That's stuff I like to see. And yeah, even here in 2020, Tim McGraw. All of a sudden he's back. I don't know what happened to him. I didn't really there wasn't really anything new that was like really that notable with him. Same with Miranda Lambert. Miranda Lambert kind of been spotty over the years, but but Keith Urban too. It's like good. Like I like seeing this. I think even Rascal Flatts has got a little something in there every now and then now too. Like shit, like I like this. But really my main point. But yeah, Nashville. I mean, I know I'd have like so much to do. Like that. That just feels like that is my heart and soul, just like calling me there. So one of these days, I would be happy to settle down to Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, excuse me. And a dream vacation, Los Angeles, California. Home of my favorite basketball team, Lakers, hence, of course, Lakers Kid 2013 with the channel. I would always love to see a Lakers game, of course. Just like the go around like Hollywood and stuff, and I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't think there's just so much to do and everything. But yeah, I don't think I really have much else to say. So, I mean, I did not think I was gonna have a 30-minute long video, or it's really everything just from life, and well, actually, I'll add in one more thing, since this also kind of involves COVID, but at the same time, the state of the economy. I hope whenever I, of course, view this, or this gets played, say, years from now, that, everything can go, good. I just hope that, the world and, the United States can just all, just everybody in the world can, get, just get better from this, and we all, as humanity, can just grow stronger and be more together. Life is so short, you just never know what might happen. And I actually, I knew somebody that I had a former friend actually die of COVID. So, Lindsay Nicole Ball, rest in peace to you. I know there were some issues that happened between us. And of course, I wouldn't have wished that on my worst enemy for anyone to be dying anyway, but especially that. That's a horrible way for anybody to go out. So, but I feel myself but overall, personally, my life over the past years now, 10 years from where I was then and now, I'm really hopeful and excited for the future. Um, you know, and the thing I was going to mention there, the COVID actually, the stimulus checks. Now, see, I did get 1,200, and you know what? I knew what I was going to do because I had to focus on, of course, getting to this place I'm at now here, um, which actually, I have to say, when I was a little bit iffy about moving into a trailer park, but this place actually pretty nice. You know, it's affordable. Um, I'm just glad. I'm glad that I was like, oh, okay, the rent's like really good, like really cheap and especially with like water included. And so basically, I'm not gonna get necessarily into the financial numbers specifically, but it basically compares to whenever I was living in Princeton and is at these apartments, Golden Tower apartments. I was living in a 1-bedroom duplex, and basically, I had to pay all utilities there, but it's literally basically the same kind of financial situation that was there, but actually even better. And I think this is the thing. I'm in Indianapolis, and rent around here. I mean, it's not like absurd, but it's still quite up there. I was looking around with apartments and everything. Usually, it's like only water included. I'd be looking at like 550, 600 a month, and yeah, some places around here that's freaking like 700 a month, and you even gotta pay like all utilities. Like, see, it was either the west side or the east side. I kind of had a feeling I was gonna be on. I really had a strong feeling I was gonna be on the west side because I didn't really mess with the east side. I'm not trying to like talk too bad about my city here, but crime is, crime is definitely something to worry about, especially over there. You know, um, I do still feel like I gotta kind of be a little careful here on the west side. Like, don't get me wrong. But I've also got the Citizen app for a reason, which lets me know like stuff going on. But anyway, um, you know, I'm just glad. I'm glad I can finally be at this point now. Um, 10 years down the road, like, I'm at my 20-year anniversary on YouTube. Then I could still be even better than I am even now. Of course, I know 2020 has been, for me, having my 10-year anniversary on a year that has just been beyond wild for the whole world. I mean, I'm glad to be having this kind of peace, though, like, among this chaos. I mean, I actually moved. I mean, it's crazy. I'm still kind of, like, trying to contemplate this, even, like, a little over a month later, like a month and a half later. I moved in the middle of a pandemic. I went from the south side. Oh, get that notification up there. I went from the south side. I was like by Beach Grove, which there's still the Walmart I work by there. But I went from there, which is actually like pretty decent area of the city. Now, I mean, actually pretty solid. I'm actually really undermining how good that was. To now it's like it's still decent here on the west side. Like, it's kind of watch really where you're going. But I'm in a better area, although I did not hear very good things. See, you actually got two trailer parks that are right next to each other, and I actually was at the bigger, better one. So I actually made a kind of good choice there. I usually am always hearing, and I'm also on the side that's like right by the neighboring trailer park. Um, I'll always be like hearing like stuff happening, and one of like people out. I don't know what's going on, but you know, I mean, obviously, like I just keep to myself, so as long as no one's bothering me, like I'm not gonna really bother anybody. Not that I really would anyway. So, but you know, overall, just I'm glad to be seeing just where things are headed in my life. You know, of course, I'm gonna wish the best for everybody for obviously this year and everybody beyond. Like I'm definitely gonna keep everybody in my prayers just for everything. Um, you know, I've definitely been keeping. Um, you know, my dad's side of the family lives on the West Coast, and you know it's a scary time with the wildfires that are going on. And actually, it's so bad that actually all the way here in Indiana, now the smoke, obviously it's not like anything that affects air quality, but the fact that there's even smoke that even is like still high in the atmosphere to create like a little bit of a hazy like sunrise, like sunsets, I guess. Well, all the way over here in Indiana. That's saying something with how bad stuff is. And you know, you got sports events where you know, you got the sports world that's been just restarting. Some of it has, you know, just getting its feet back under it, and then like this happens. Like, I mean, it's just been so much that's happened this year. Shoot, I tell you, when this coronavirus hit, just that alone, I was like, I'm ready for next year already, 2021. But definitely gonna have some more plans with making some videos like this. Definitely gonna cut down. Like, this was definitely way too long, but for my liking. But you know, hey, 10-year anniversary. I mean, I got nothing. I got nothing to lose. That, you know, is the way I'm seeing it. I got nothing to lose by doing this. And of course, whenever I moved to Indy a couple years ago, you know, I thought to myself, oh yeah, I'll get this on low power mode. You know, I knew, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be like moving up and everything, but I didn't think it was gonna be this way, where I wound up being on the news. So for those of you who not seen how or know how, so my most viewed video on my channel is with the Circle Center Mall. It was a massive brawl that happened there. It was my now former friend that I was with, and you know, we were there. You know, we were downtown for the Circle of Light celebration, and I'll tell you what, that was my first time doing that, and my goodness, that was just so pretty. With like seeing like the Christmas lights like around like the Soldiers Monument, the Monument Circle and everything. So pretty to see, and anybody that, you know, ever like travels to Indy, like, you gotta, you know, if you want to travel in here in the wintertime, you gotta see that. It is so pretty. But anyway, you know, it's like after that was over. Now there were a whole bunch of people that went to the mall, and the mall was packed, and I mean, really, really packed. So many people. after the Circle Light celebration, they immediately went to the mall. And mind you, you know, this is like freaking, it was like, what was it, past like 8 o'clock, and we're talking, oh yeah. I mean, the video shows for itself with how many people were there. And how could you not? You know, I see a punch that gets thrown, and then there's 3 fights that break out at once. And then I'm even trying to, like, run for my life, basically. Like, we're running for our lives. Well, we're just trying to stay out of it. Like, fights are heading, like we had, like, 2 of the fights heading our way, and then there's, like, even, like, a security guard that is holding one girl but not the other, which that could have gotten someone in serious trouble. But you know, I'll let the video speak for itself. But overall, yeah, I did not expect to be having Fox 59 and WTHR interview me the next day, and then a few days later, Wish TV, the same, you know, they interviewed me. So, yeah. I mean, now that I actually do have a couple of the reporters' numbers, though, you know, in case anything happens, I mean, I keep that stuff saved, so I'll be good, you know, like, you know, have some little inside connections. You know, if they need to run a story, then, you know, I just figured, you know, why not? Just in case, because you never know. I didn't expect to be on the news. And I was just recording like a freaking brawl, like a massive brawl that happened. It just is what it is. Oh, man. You know, of course, like I mean, I hope I never see anything like that again, but I tell you, I would just say hello, darkness, my old friend, if that ever did happen. But, you know, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I know my phone was set at like 10% remaining, but, even though this phone, like, is good with battery, and great, actually, it's not going to last forever. But, you know, I hope you guys all the best. 2020 is nearing the end, so let's hope not. Things don't get too much crazier. You know, you got the elections coming up, so be smart about who you're voting for. You know, for those voting. And, you know, hopefully this virus will be over. I think it's gonna more so be socially over. That's really when it will be declared over, as most pandemics are in history. And, you know, everybody be safe. You know, can't take life for granted.